and he's bringing forth fruit in those who serve him. It fits nicely with where we are, because this month our sermon series is on how to study the Bible. I believe every believer needs to find strength in how they spend their personal time in reading the Word and studying the Word. And many of you have shared over the last couple of weeks of how this has been a blessing to spend this time learning. It's been a tough series for me, but it's good to hear that it's been a blessing for many of you, that we're going through how to study the Bible. We talked about how to look at the context, and get the context of what God is doing, not only in the message, but also in our own lives. We spent time looking at the questions we need to ask of a text. That when we sit down and read our Bibles, we have to come with some questions of who's in the text, and where's the location, and what's going on, and how am I supposed to relate to this. Then we also have to look at how we're spending time with the Lord in prayer about what we are reading. That we have to ask God to turn on the light of our understanding, that we don't just read it as if we're reading the Baltimore Sun or our favorite novel, but we're reading it for the purpose, for the hope, for the sheer desire to know more of the Lord. And so, Lord, I've got some questions, I've got some things I've got to ask you, I've got to talk to you, and I believe in those things you begin to speak to me and show me the truth of the text. And then today, as we continue our message, our series on how to study the Bible, after the context, after we ask the questions, after we've searched the Lord, we've also got to ask the text, or search in our Bible reading for what is the big idea. What's the big idea? Where the context is where is what is going on, what is happening, that Jesus would do such a thing, that the Bible would say such a thing. That's the context. The big idea is where the text matters to me. What is it that God, what is the big point, what is the thing that he wants me to say? Matter of fact, think about Lon Solomon. He starts in the middle of every message. He always stops after he's given all the deep stuff. And he'll shout out, what's the point? And that is the big idea. What's the point? I've read it. I understand. Okay, he walked on water. What does that mean to me? What's the point? Why do I care? Why does this matter to me? That's the next thing that we have to look at today in our text. The context is where we are going, or what is going on. The big idea is why the text matters. And I believe that this is important, that when we are in study, I think it's the one thing that we need to know. When we open up the pages of the Word, where does this connect with my life? How does this matter? And what does God now want me to do because of it? What's the big idea?